Hey everyone, I'm Sara, and me and my husband, feels weird saying that because it's fresh. Me and my husband Lincoln have a BrickLink store called studsy.bricks. We also have an Instagram. I'm not sure where you have found the YouTube channel, but that's that. I thought before I started sharing videos that would be, I guess, helpful or interesting, I would do a quick video to kind of answer the first sort of questions that we've been getting.
Get on with it! Yes! Get on with it!
The main question that we have been getting about the Lego is something to the effect of like, wait, you're doing what with your Lego? And I get it. So I thought I would kind of like just break down what it is that we're doing. For those who don't know, BrickLink is basically like the eBay of secondhand Lego sales. So what people do is, let's say you've got some spare bits lying around, you add them onto BrickLink at a price per piece, or you can also list sets, and people buy them secondhand. So it's just the same as an eBay listing or a Gumtree listing, where you would have an item you want to get rid of, you list it on Gumtree, someone contacts you and says, I want to buy it, or on eBay they bid on it. It's more of a buy it now kind of situation, and then you post the item to that person. The main reasons that someone would shop through BrickLink, and this is another question we get a fair bit, is they are trying to build a set and they might be missing a couple of parts. So if you buy a set from Lego and it's missing parts, Lego will send you the missing parts. But if you buy like a secondhand set of Gumtree and it's missing a couple of parts, you can just buy those individual bricks or plates from a seller on BrickLink. Another reason why someone might buy parts from BrickLink is if they're building a mock. I'll talk more about them later. So you might have an idea where you want to build like a scene, like a beach scene, or you might want to build a castle or something, and there's no set for it, so you can't just go out and buy a kit that has the instructions and the bricks. You need to think about the bricks that you want to get, and you can get them through BrickLink. So there's also other things you can get on there, like you can buy sets secondhand cheaper than it would be to buy them new, or you can buy instructions. If you've got a set and you want the instructions, like hard copy ones, you can actually download all the instructions online. So yes, there's a few reasons why you might shop with BrickLink. At the moment, I'm not quite sure, but I feel like there's like maybe a couple hundred Australian sellers based all around Australia, which is really cool. I didn't think that, getting into this, I had no idea how big of a thing it is, but turns out it's a little bit of a thing. So when I first started doing Lego as an adult, which is called an AFOL, I would just buy sets, build the sets, and then put it away. And that kind of developed into this. There were a few steps that were taken between me buying a set. I think the first new set I bought when I first started properly getting into it was Newt's case. And you'd open it up and it had like creatures and stuff in it. And that was before the Fantastic Beasts movies turned out to be terrible. Anyway, that's like a whole separate thing. So I bought some sets, and then I bought a bulk lot from a lady that was getting rid of her child's Lego from Gumtree, which was really affordable. And something that I really enjoyed doing was going through the bulk lot and trying to figure out like what sets were in there. And then the next step was to say, okay, well, it looks like there's like 60 to 70% of the parts of this set. I want to get the rest so I can finish building the thing. And that's when I discovered BrickLink. And that's when all this started snowballing. And that kind of turned into a little bit of a game where we were like, okay, well, what we could do is we could finish these sets and then sell them. Let's say we got this bulk lot, it's got most of these sets in it. People sell bulk lots, usually at around $25 a kilo, but it really depends on the quality of the items that are in the sets. That's another thing. I'll do a whole separate video about buying bulk lots. Yeah, so what we decided to do was to get the sets, buy the missing parts, and then sell the sets as a whole. And we did that for a little bit, and we sold some sets, but we found that it wasn't that profitable for the amount of work that went into it. It was turning into quite a big task to, you know, place a whole bunch of different orders, wait for the parts to come, double check the parts, clean the parts, list it somewhere, wait for it, have to pay fees if it's done through eBay or whatever. And then I had the idea to start a BrickLink store. The website was built quite a while ago and it is clunky, in my opinion. Lego have bought it recently, so I do wonder if maybe things will change a little bit, but time will tell. And I felt like it was a little bit too hard basket. So we kind of didn't really prioritize it. And we talked with one of our friends who also kind of got back into Lego around the same time we did. This was about a year ago. And he mentioned that he had started a BrickLink store and that he had made over $1,000 in his first month. And I was like, maybe we should do that. I think he said that he'd started with about 5,000 pieces. At this stage, I did quite a bit of research online and I kind of thought that maybe it wouldn't be worthwhile doing unless we had about 15,000 pieces. But the fact that he was able to do it successfully with under 10, I thought that maybe we could make it work. So I bought another couple of bulk lots on Gumtree. Always with bulk lots there's going to be issues, but these ones turned out to be okay. And we spent last lockdown a significant amount of time in the first lot of lockdown. I think maybe it was the second one. First lockdown, I did the room. It was getting hectic out in the lounge room. We had 2 dining tables in our lounge room, and so I was like, look, we're not using the spare room for anything. Let's turn that into the Lego room. I turned the Lego room to Lego room. Second lockdown, at the start, we counted all of our parts. All of them. Not the ones that are in the sets that you can see, but like all the loose parts. It's all in the containers there and in other storage. We got to about 25,000 and we uploaded them to BrickLink and we opened our store. And in the first, I think it was like 5 minutes, we had our first order. Everything is awesome. It's really exciting because I thought that we would hit live on the thing and nothing would happen and it would have all been a waste of a lot of long evenings of going like this thousands and thousands of times. So we went live, the orders started coming in, it was really exciting, but almost every order had a problem. And it could have been that we didn't have enough of the part wasn't listed correctly. I couldn't believe the amount of problems that we were having with the parts. So we turned the store off after 6 days. Which was disappointing, but live and learn. And so then I spent a week counting it all again, which it was a little bit easier than the first time because it meant that we didn't have to upload all the things, but I just went through our entire inventory and updated it all and fixed it. And since then, we've been getting about 4 to 5 orders a day, which is good.
It's good. Good.
So that's where we're at right now. It's going so much better than we had anticipated. We're getting a lot of questions from friends and fam as to like, what's happening? That's what's happening. Another question that we're getting a fair bit is like, where do we get stock from? Are we going to keep buying it, or is the plan just to get rid of our Lego? At this stage, we're not going to be buying any new Lego because we still have a pile of sets that we need to part out and upload to BrickLink. And then I think that the aim is just to kind of chill on it for a sec because we've been working pretty hard pretty much every evening for maybe 2 months on this. So I think we want to chill on it for a sec. Once all of our parts have been uploaded, just gonna let the store run itself, and then maybe we will look at buying some bulk lots just to like top up the store when we feel like things are slowing down a little bit. Again, I think I'll do another video about like what to put in your store and that sort of thing, and like parting out sets as well. People have also been asking like how I'm making money from it. Good question. A lot of so the money that we have seen come in from our orders so far. So like, just like, let's think about numbers. So if you're like a numbers person, maybe this is fun, maybe it's not. At the time doing this video, I think we were at like 35 orders, and we've had just under $1,000 come in for those orders. Now, keeping in mind that people pay for their own shipping, and shipping's anywhere between like $8 and $9 per order. So about a third of the money that we have made has been for shipping. And then there's also the cost of getting the stock in the first place. So this is where it turns into a little bit of a grey area, because some of the stock is like Lincoln's childhood Lego. Some of it has come from bulk lots where we paid $20 a kilo. Some of it's come from bulk lots where we paid $50 a kilo because it had better quality things in it. Some of it has been sets that I have bought new. Some of it has come from sets that we bought out of a bulk lot and bought a couple of spare parts to finish it, decided that that wasn't the way to go, and then parted it out. So for us to do the maths to figure out what our setup costs were, it's just not possible, because everything has been such a long drawn out process. First of all, it started as a hobby, and maybe if we knew we were going to end up doing a BrickLink store, we would have done it differently, recorded how much we were spending and tried to make the purchase price lower. So the way that I'm kind of viewing it is that we were starting off at zero, even though we obviously weren't, because we had a lot of parts. Then there's also the man hours. Now, BrickLink is not the sport for someone who wants to do as little work as possible for as much money. It is, especially at the start, it is tedious. I don't even know how many hours we spent doing inventory, how many hours so far we have spent packing orders, organising the Lego. It's a long game, and the hourly rate is not great. So I think it's one of those things that you have to like enjoy doing. So for me, something that I find really relaxing is sorting and organising things. So for me, like after we have dinner in the evenings, I'll come in here and I'll potter for a few hours, and it won't feel like I'm working, which is good because it would be at a very average hourly. But if I'm getting paid to do something that a year ago I was doing for free, then that's fine. But if you're thinking like, oh, well, you've made nearly $1,000 and you've been open for 2 weeks, maybe it's something I could do, only do it if you enjoy it, because otherwise you'll get bored of it very quickly. We go through stages where we get bored of it for a couple of days. Like, if you're not into it, it's not fun. Another question is like, how much can I charge for a brick? It truly depends. Something that like I will say to people is, if you're getting a set, the average brick or the average part is about 10 cents. But that's not always the case. It's a game of averages. Some parts are worth nothing. If it's something that appears in every set that's ever come out and it's a part that has nothing unique about it, it's not really worth very much, because everyone has it, no one needs it. That being said, a lot of people who are building mocks, like, you know, volcanoes or things that aren't sets, they might need like 1,000 grey bricks. And so you do sometimes find that like a really common part is in high demand because so many people need it for walls, for example. So that's something to take into consideration. Then there's also like sets that came out in the 90s that made a part and it's never been made again, and you can sell that part for $20. So for example, last week we had an order that we sold that was 2 tiles, so like 1x2 tiles that came from the DeLorean Ideas set, and each of those tiles was, I think, about $15, even though they're just tiny little bits of plastic because they only appeared in one set and someone was building their own version of a DeLorean. They bought them. So there's that. But then also we've had orders like this big go out full of like very boring parts that are worth the same amount as the one that went out that was this big. It really just depends on the parts. I think it's a shame that BrickLink isn't more accessible for people that aren't like all into Lego, because I don't know, I feel like when we were younger, like we'd be missing a part and feel like all hope was lost, and they'd be like, oh, this set's like, you can't do it. But you need to, BrickLink is a really good resource to get things and to sell things if you can be bothered. That's where we're at. I know I said that a few times. I think that they're probably like the most common questions that we've had so far. I will do like a full like Q&A type deal at some stage, but this is kind of like an intro video of how we got into it, where we're at now, answering a few people's questions, and I can't make any guarantees around the next video because lockdown is a weird time. And that's that. If you have any questions about Lego, BrickLink, Studsy Bricks, please put it in the comment section below, send us a message. I don't know how we're doing this yet, so that's that. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Bye.